Just a jaw-dropping example of this hotly desired card. When we look at these pre-war Hall of Famers, there's a few names which really rise to the very, very top of the most desired list, especially for investors, and certainly Cobb, Honus Wagner, 1 and 2, but then Walter Johnson, Christy Mathewson, and perhaps Cy Young, I think is probably what rounds out the top 5. This being Christy Mathewson's most desired of his 3 variations, being the white and the black cap, and then this being his portrait, again being his most desired. It's one of the more beautiful cards from all the T206s with these deep yellow and orange backgrounds. It's just a aesthetically very attractive card, and what we have here is a completely packed fresh, altogether stunning example. They do not come looking like this. This card is just a whisker away from an 8 in our opinion. They just don't come looking anywhere near this nice very often. About the only thing we can see to keep the card from grading an 8 is maybe about a 5-point centering shift right to left, and then just the subtlest bits of wear to the bottom 2 corner tips. The top 2 corners are virtually mint. It's just an unbelievably attractive card. It's a recipient of our above average designation, so for us that means this is in the top 30% of all the 7s. It might be a little conservative. You'd be hard pressed to find a better 7, to be quite honest. This card is not as good as you can ever hope for from the issue. As I mentioned, the bottom 2 corners have the subtlest little bits of wear. I mean, we're talking about very, very subtle. Just a tiny little tick to the enamel chip, corner tip there. Try to get this to focus. These top 2 corners are about as pristine as you'll ever see on a T206. And again, just the subtlest little bits of wear to this lower right. That's probably the weakest of the 4 corners, and I would still consider it to be basically a near mint corner. From the back, very similar to the front, just a virtually uncirculated card. The surfaces are just unbelievably fresh. This card's never seen the light of day. It looks like it fell out of a pack. Just, if you're in the market for the best of the best, this card, in our opinion, really just checks every box imaginable. It's an absolute steal for the grade assigned. Just about as good as it gets. So, I mean, we're delighted to have this in the auction. We wish the bidders the best of luck. It's virtually irreplaceable.